Yesterday at Parc des Princes, as I promised, there was an epic battle. The world stood in the city of love of Paris to bring you an epic battle between two Spanish tacticians. Tacticians who postponed their own war of football brains from the Emirates to the Parc des Princes. But eventually, coach Luis Enrique became victorious. What did Luis Enrique do to outwit Arteta? And what changes did he make from the first leg that I analyzed here and said that Arsenal were the better team? But yesterday, I'm sorry to mention this, that PSG were the better team from minute 1 to minute 90. What changed? What are the tactical instructions that Luis Enrique adopted? And why was Arsenal toothless? But for the only first 20 minutes when Arteta's team was relying on set pieces, long throws from Thomas Partey, trying to attack the box. But once again, the absence and decision of Arteta for not signing a striker came back to haunt him yesterday, as clearly Arsenal missed a striker who could only bury their chances. But also, credit to Luis Enrique. I want to explain to you bit by bit what Luis Enrique changed and what system and tactics did he employ. Luis Enrique set up his team in a typical 4-3-3 formation. Typical 4-3-3 formation with Brand Rui in midfield. First of all, he started with Gigi Donnarumma in goal, Hakimi on the right, Pacho and Thomas Marquinhos in a central defensive partnership, Nuno Mendes as a left back. Started with Rui. Rui was started here. This place was Brand Ruiz. This place was Vitinha. This one was João Neves. Surprisingly, he left out Ousmane Dembele and began with a trio of Desire Doué as a striker. Then Kvicha Kamashela adopted to play on the left, reasons being unexplained. And on the right, he started with Bradley Barcola. That team on paper is a typical 4-3-3. But the changes that Luis Enrique made from first leg, he knew that Arsenal will set up in a typical system like this. And with Partey returning, he knew that Rice will play in this half space, box-to-box role. And he knew that Martinelli's pace, Saka's trickery of coming inside and outside was going to be the outlet that Arsenal will use. Typically, Mikel Arteta began with a 4-4-2 shape without possession. But this time around, he started with a high block, high pressure 4-4-2, which brought PSG problems. In the first 15-20 minutes, PSG could not be able to get the ball moving in this part of the field. But eventually, they adapted. This adaptation was key. What did they change? First of all, Luis Enrique instructed Achraf Hakimi to attack this side. Why? Because of Lewis Kelly's movement. Lewis Kelly of Arsenal likes to invert and form a double pivot with Mr. Partey. So with these two players, one hugging the touchline and Mr. Achraf Hakimi making these inverting runs inside, meant that Lewis Kelly could be caught in between two minds of either defending and holding his position here on the left or attacking this space or being concerned about this attacking space that Achraf Hakimi is coming into. Meaning he could not effectively invert, because if he did invert, Achraf Hakimi was having a leeway. And also on the right, there's also a problem on the right. And with Doué, without being a number 9, moving and drifting everywhere in these areas of the pitch meant that the defense of Arsenal didn't have anybody specific to mark. So meaning they could not be able to track these runners in behind. But also, this is what PSG also did. Apart from these changes, they started Nuno Mendes to stay deep. Mendes stayed deep with Pacho and Marquinhos forming a back three. Why? And instructed Kvicha to come inside, to come this area to defend against Saka, and Mendes to stay inside and form this back three. Whereby, if Arsenal decide to attack with Saka, then it will be a 2-1 situation and a defending situation here on the right or on the left of PSG, meaning that with Mendes staying deep, it meant that with Gabriel Martinelli on the left, being is only a one-dimensional player who is faster in between defense lines and cannot be able to dribble the ball in one-on-one situation, meant that with him hugging this touchline here, therefore, Mr. Pacho stayed centrally to control the cross spaces. And as for playing without a striker in Mr. Merino, they could not attack this area, meaning the captain was supposed to go and defend this area while this 2v1 defending was this left. These tactical adjustments, small details, tactical adjustments by Luis Enrique that only proved to be a masterpiece, but also twisted this game to the side of PSG by limiting Arsenal to only half chances without clear target on goal. The only chance that Arsenal scored was after a mistake on transition that happened here. But unfortunately, PSG's defensive discipline of controlling these spaces of Saka and here, and also attacking this area, limiting these weaknesses and strength of this Arsenal side, meant that PSG were wasteful. They squandered a lot of chances. Back corner twice, the penalty was saved. The PSG was wasteful in attack. But credit to Mr. Luis Enrique for what he did. He structured his team to be solid defensively, attack with verve, transition from defense to attack as fast as possible, and create chances. They did both excellently. But for the goal conceded after a mistake from the PSG defense, this game, PSG were the better team in the second leg. The first leg, Arsenal were the better team. The second leg, I can stand there without any contradiction and give applause to Mr. Enrique for his tactical adjustments in a 4-3 system by instructing Mendes and Kvicha to form a 2v1 cage on the left, by instructing Achraf Hakimi to make these inverting runs. And he was justified because the second goal was scored by none other than Achraf Hakimi's movement inside to find and curl a shot in the goal. Congratulations PSG for a job well done. Arsenal, once again, you end this season trophyless, but there are a lot of positivities and a lot of progress that you have taken. But for PSG side, this team is going places, and I'm waiting to see what this 4-3-3 and how it will cope against a rampant Inter Milan's 3-5-2 come the Champions League final in Germany. Thank you so much.